right, welcome to the Patriot Hour for Sunday, 9/30, September 30th, 2018. I am Michael. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We got some new QAnon, Q clearance, breadcrumbs, drops, updates. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe, maybe ring the bell, toggle the switch to work with you and your device in the best possible manner for you and your device. All right, we got Ben with us. We are going to tackle these Q updates.
All right.
All right. Let me
Super excited. Let me see here, though. I'm playing with some stuff on my end. I don't know if I've got I think I got something going on. Let's see if this is a little bit ready. If I can't do this for you, brother. Is that a little better for you?
Oh yeah.
Good. I think we were having a little bit of technical issues this our last little Patriot Hour project video. And so we're getting it hemmed out for you guys. Again, we're super excited down here looking at some good stuff and definitely new Q posts coming up. So,
all right. So the last one was 2298. That was a picture of inside of, we don't know if it's Air Force One or just some kind of high,
aisle flying and big stuff like that. Big.
Right, so let's see here. All right, we'll go up to 2299. This came at 1433. We got a R, Red October, and then Red October, red coming down with a D. Mm-hmm. Justice K confirmation, D class. Goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. In the brackets, payment in full. We got an article here. Jeff Flake, Brett Kavanaugh, FBI probe today. Elevator protest. Flake's decision came after he spoke to senators of both parties and withstood pressure from some Republicans not to take such step. As he considered his course of action, Flake had a conversation with Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who is in charge of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. Defined treason, the crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. Defined subversion, the act of subverting, the state of being subverted, especially a systematic attempt to overthrow or undermine a government or political system by persons working secretly from within. Think line of questions regarding Senator Graham, arrow greater than or over to Justice K, regarding enemy combatants. You remember that video we went over? 1-800-273-8255, 8255. Operators are standing by. Q.
Ooh. They're going to be getting a huge flood of calls in there because, that's it's very interesting when Senator Graham was talking to Kavanaugh, and we went over this on a few episodes ago, where it was like there's something called a body of law for these individuals that's outside of the traditional civil and criminal law. We went extensively over that, military justice, UCMJ kind of stuff. So you guys can go back and watch that episode. But very interesting what he was saying. And we know that this month coming up, which is tomorrow we're thinking, it's going to be Red October. It's going to be a little red wave. So let's see what that CBSnews.com on Jeff Flake and Brett Kavanaugh, that article on that post before we go to the most current post. It was a Cabinet FBI probe today. It's behind the scenes of Jeff Flake's decision to call for the FBI probe into Kavanaugh allegations. So this is kind of a little behind the scenes. It says Arizona Republican Senator Jeff Flake surprised his colleagues on both sides of the aisle when he called for a delay in the Senate floor vote on Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation. After releasing a statement earlier this morning saying that he would vote to confirm Kavanaugh, Flake, a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, vote to advance Kavanaugh's nomination for consideration by a full Senate on Friday, but said he would not approve a motion to bring the nomination forward without an FBI investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct by Kavanaugh. So it goes a little bit more to say down on the line here is when he was talking to some of these individuals when we were sitting there, why was it taking so long for them to come back there? He goes on to say later on in the article, Flake's decision came after he spoke to senators of both parties and withstood pressure from some Republicans not to take such a step as he considered his course of action. I guess Flake also had a conversation with Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who was in charge of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation, and at the top of his mind was the previous day's testimony from Kavanaugh that Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, who was accused Kavanaugh of sexual assault when they were both teenagers. Man, see.
Yeah, Flake told reporters later in the day that while he had arrived at a decision about whether to support Kavanaugh, he was concerned about the process. Let me just say from the outset, Judge Kavanaugh and I agreed to support him before all of this came out. I wanted to support him. I am a conservative. I think he's a conservative judge, but I want a process we can be proud of, Flake said. I think the country needs to be behind it, and we need to be a little bit more bipartisan process. That's why it's important. Before the vote, Flake confronted by protesters. So, yeah, this was that little video we all saw. Hopefully you guys saw it, of him getting confronted in the elevator. But this guy, they were calling him basically Snowflake, Senator Snowflake afterwards.
I mean, basically, he's trying to smoothen out a fallout, and he's the go-to guy between the two parties, and there's getting pressure on both sides. He talked to Rod Rosenstein, who we know is paid in full per Q, and his role is over. He's going to be either, he's going to be out real soon.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is Senator Flake is due to retire at the end of this year, people. So why is he the one yelling the loudest? It's his name doing that. So let's go on to post 2300. Came out at 14:53 Eastern Standard Time, about 2:53. Says Red October. Stay tuned and watch. Q plus.
Now we got a Q plus.
So let's see if this is coming. Let's see the little something here.
Okay, here's an idea.
Go on this one. And just be, 2300 to see if...
Let's do this.
Whether it was a Q plus before.
No, I just was looking for this one. Man.
That had relevance to this last one. This was the Hunt for Red October, if you will. We were thinking it was a movie, but it was really Red October.
Right here, remember? We were going over this yesterday in Garage Talk.
Okay,
so,
yeah, that's right.
Post 34, folks. I'm going to read this real quick, and then we'll break her down here. 2156 on November 1st. My fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refugee of shining light. On POTUS order, we have initiated in certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout which is slated to occur on 11/3. Upon the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta, actionable 11/4, confirmation to the public of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not be openly accepted. Public riots are being organized in serious numbers in effort to prevent the arrest and capture of more senior public officials. On POTUS order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition and special operator necessity. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided as so many fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has been long broadcast. We will be initiating the emergency broadcast system, the EMS, during this time, in effort to provide a direct message, avoiding the fake news, to all citizens. Organizations and or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad.
That's very powerful, people. Very powerful. What he's
this
just
is a
basically
continuance.
Broke down.
I got to go to 35 real quick, then we'll break it down. POTUS will be insulated, protected on Air Force One, and aboard specific location classified. While these operations are conducted due to the nature of entrenchment, it is time to take back our country and make America great again. Let us salute and pray for the brave men and women in uniform who will undertake this assignment to bring forth peace, unity, and return power to the people. It is our hope that this message reaches enough people to make a meaningful impact. We cannot telegraph this message through normal methods for reasons I'm sure everyone can understand. Follow the questions from the previous thread and remain calm. The primary targets are within DC and remain at the top on both sides. The spillover in the streets will be quickly shut down. Look for more false flags, stay alert, be vigilant, and above all, please pray. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Love is patient, love is kind. God bless my fellow Americans. 4/10/20. Now, we got to take a couple things into consideration here, folks, real quick.
Yes.
Now, we know the very first Q post that we talks about Hillary. And everyone's like, well, that never happened. She's walking the streets free. And then you look here. This one kind of starts off with Mr. Podesta on 11/3. Everyone's like, did he? We didn't see him for a while, but now we did. This whole year he's been around doing things. Does this happen publicly? Maybe it already did happen that we don't know about. Secret military tribunals. They're here free, playing part of the game. And then it becomes public this year. They talk about mirror. Maybe, we're hoping that this can gain enough traction. Well, if they would have released this last year on November 1st, within 2 to 3 days, it wouldn't have gained much attention in 2 to 3 days. It could have went viral.
Maybe, yeah.
But here it's been a whole year. They talk about alerting the EMS, the emergency broadcast system. Well, we've just been hearing about that getting ramped up. They're slated to try it here in October.
Yes,
I didn't hear about this last year, them testing it and Trump a way for him directly to message people. Now they're talking about that.
Yeah.
So there's something to think about, folks. If these things never happened, maybe in the very beginning, the first drop was the last drop. It was close to this.
Maybe,
The
exactly.
date of 11/11. I think we've seen that a lot. 11/11/18. That's 100 years ago. Was the end of World War I. What is it? The 11th month or the 11th day of the 11th month of the 11th hour. Total peace. Armistice Day started. Here we are coming up to 100 years from that. Total peace supposed to be created. 11/3. Were we given this a year ago? And now it's unfolding. We're getting ready to come into this 11-3, 11-4. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, that's something to think about, right?
No, for sure. When we were doing Garage Talk about this very thing, is like we think these two posts definitely went hand in hand. A better, I guess, layout, a plot of what's going to be happening, what's going to be coming on. Don't be afraid. We have the American people, women, children. We have all of you guys, under as our utmost, priority. And I mean, look what it says. People did wish to do you harm, and it's interesting. Even in the answers, they go over it, and he says, this was a direct challenge to Soros and the cabal. Trump knew that Soros and the bad actress were monitoring the thread. Trump, through Q, used the post to get Soros and the globalists back down. And the best general wins without fighting. Art of war, people. And of course, disinformation is necessary. We know that. And we see that, how do you catch a fish?
You put it out on 11-1 without a date. Because we noticed that there's a date. It just says 11-3.
Yeah.
And then 11-4 for, actionable.
So
and then this was on November 1st of 17. So anyone naturally on November 1st of 17, if you see an 11-3, you're thinking 2 days away.
Oh my gosh.
But it was going to be 1 year and 2 days away.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying, okay? 11-4 or whatever. So you assume, and that would be a form of disinformation. Well, that was a lie. That didn't happen. And then, boom, it happens this year on November 3rd.
And then you can go back and say, well, wait a minute. I wasn't really reading that right. I just assumed that it should happen in 2 days because, I read those numbers. It's like, and it's very interesting that it's our hope that this message reaches enough people to make a meaningful impact. This is what the Patriot Hour is always talking about, getting our message out to as much as people as possible. And and you think that what we're trying to do is anything subversive or nothing. We're doing exactly what Q's trying to do, to get the message to reach enough people to make a meaningful impact.
What's this?
And that 4, 10, and 20. Now that's interesting. I mean, what did the answers say on that one?
It didn't have anything for that.
Yeah, it didn't have anything. Now 4, 10, and 20. Now what is that?
Oh wait, my bad.
Maybe down a little bit more.
Go ahead. I'll read this part. POTUS will be well insulated on Air Force One and aboard specific locations classified. While these operations are conducted due to the nature of entrenchment, it is time to take back our country and make America great again. Let us salute and pray the brave men and women in uniform who will undertake this assignment to bring forth peace, unity, and return the power to the people. JFK made a fatal mistake by staying in the country as purges were taking place. POTUS and Patriots learned from this and acted accordingly. So then he goes into, is our hope that the message reaches enough people to make a meaningful impact. I mean, a year would be a meaningful impact.
Yeah, well, and he goes on to say in the answers that the information is spreading one person at a time. It will be helpful to wake more people if a big event could come out as anticipated from Q. But that first sentence really states it. The information is spreading one person at a time.
So think about that. If this was put out on November 1st of last year and it's only one person at a time, so by the third or fourth day, how many people could it have really reached?
Oh my gosh, this is going to be, yes, exactly. Now it's everybody knows about that follows this
We're not big
channel
into dates here, folks, or trying to give you some false hope or some It's just something we're on to. We're sharing it with you. This is what you're going to get. This is a little bit of our own.
This is coming out of our own research and development and brainstorming. Like, we always say we can't get everything perfect, but a lot of this we're trying to make sense of. And if this was a foreshadowing of what's to come, with a little bit of a pep talk to the American people and to those of us patriots and even those veterans who are like, look, man, we know what happens when one agency tries to overthrow another regime, and we've done it in other countries. And so with him putting these two posts out together saying, look, there's going to be some huge changes coming. And with him just putting 11-4 and 11-3, again, we're not big on dates, but again, how many coincidences is it going to take for everybody to say, all right, let's start looking at these numbers a little bit closer?
Well, how many coincidences does it take before it's mathematically impossible?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a look at this little website here. And it's not there. Well, right here it was saying, remember and take to heart, it only takes a committed 10% of any population to bring about tremendous change. Minority rules. Why 10% is all you need. So there was an article, but it didn't want to come up.
Well, that's exactly true. 10% anything. We see that quite clearly now with these different movements coming about. Everything from Black Lives Matter, Me Too, all these movements. It's coming from a very small population, but that's right. The answer is 10. Once 10% of a population is committed to an idea, it's inevitable that it will eventually become the prevailing opinion of an entire group. The key is to remain committed. We show how the prevailing majority opinion in a population can be rapidly reversed by a small fraction of people, of random distributed committed agents who constantly proletize the opposing opinion and are immune to the influence. Specifically, we show that when the committed faction grows beyond the critical value, where P to the C power equals 10%, or that would be people to however many, saturated power equals 10%, there is a dramatic decrease in the time to the actual people taken for entire population to adopt the committed opinion. In particular, the complete graph, we show that when, and they give the formula, conclude with the simulation results for E-Gross-Ray random graph, the scale-free networks will show. This is similar behavior. So this is, folks, they already have this down to literally to a science. If we have at least 10%, keep on saying it. You can't stop saying it. Once you say that lie, you cannot stop. You have to commit, and you got to be committed, And they start showing like graphs about they understand how to manipulate the overall.
Let's read a couple comments here. Does it matter which direction that the momentum is going on this? For instance, the last survey I can find quickly is at least list approved by white Americans of interracial marriage at 84%. So 16% does not approve. But surely we would not say that the crazy idea it's on its way in, but rather that it is in decline. So for new ideas, are those ideas that have never had majority approval and are on their way up and reach 10%? I think this makes sense, but please don't tell me some of the old ideas. Now at the fringes, we'll be making a comeback.
I think this goes along the same lie as when Hitler said, if you want, people to believe the lie, keep on telling it, make it simple, make it loud, and keep on saying it over and over and over again.
Well, it was like they said with I don't know if it was a civil war or the revolutionary, that they only needed 10% of the population to know the truth of what was going on, and that was enough to eventually spread it to the rest of everybody else, to get the word out or something, but I'm not sure.
It was just interesting, though. I mean, it's, when Q talks about this, and this was makes it exciting, because if it wasn't last October, and that wasn't October, and it's been a year now, and it's this October, and what's happened since then? What have we been doing since then? We've seen a massive amount of indictments. We've seen a massive amount of CEOs, CFOs, everybody in between going down, stepping down, senators at record levels, no longer rerunning and stepping down quietly, going away, people getting flipped and doing other jobs now, but yet still getting hung up on this. I mean, interesting, very interesting stuff. And it wasn't happening a year ago. And we haven't been having all of these, these hearings and these people coming up. Justice Kavanaugh, we got a Supreme Court individual who's going to be named and is going to be set in place, and we've been kind of knowing that once that happens and he's been officially confirmed and he's going to be operating in the capacities of a Supreme Court justice, some things are going to start rolling down the hill. So that's why Mike and I, when we were talking about this in Garage Talk again, we were just kind of mulling this over and being like, this is very interesting, because we're really rolling into something here with midterms coming up. And we know that Trump has talked a lot about that, saying, look, just because, we are the red wave, you have to continue to be the red wave and continue to surge forward, because if you don't, the votes still count. This is different. People like, well, this is where your popular vote counts. All of you who say that we don't like the electoral vote in this, well, this is where your popular vote counts, because you're electing the individuals in your midterms, and these are the people who are going to represent you in the next electoral vote, which is coming up here in the next couple of years. So, it's with what we're doing and what's happening here, definitely excited. And again, with our the Patriot Hour project we got going on with expansion of the studio, very excited, and really having some good stuff coming at you, and always being on top of new Q posts as they come out. And with that being said, I don't know, Mike, you want to check to see get a little Q post action here, see if there's any updates before we give this one a call and go do some maybe some Garage Talk and some R&D.
Yeah, by the way, on that, folks, we are kicking off on the Patreon a new, just some behind the scenes footage. We talked about it in the last video, but on the Patreon, you're not going to be missing out on nothing post wise or research, the end result.
Oh yeah,
that video is going to be some of the before product stuff that you just can't see here, because you want this end result, which is post information.
Yes.
So Patreon's going to have that. And it'd probably just be something that would get banned and YouTube wouldn't like over here anyway. So
yeah, no, exactly.
Check us out over there for that. We're actually going to be kicking off our first episode tonight. Might be a little bit later,
actually,
but
a little bit later, but for sure. Yeah, oh yeah, no, we're thinking here a little bit as the sun goes down, maybe do a little bit of Garage Talk and get it down for you guys. So we're about that.
All right, I don't see any.
No,
I like
we're pretty much good.
The ribbon up there above these posts now.
I do. I like that. I like how it's also kind of nice. I like the translucent.
Yeah, I could mess with that even to make it more if I needed. But okay, yeah, there's no new posts, so we will shut this down. We're at the 30-minute mark, folks. We like to keep them short. This one's a little long, but hey, sometimes you got information to get out. That's what we're all about over here at the Patriot Hour. Truth, freedom, promoting freedom and liberty for all, getting the truth to you guys. You guys connect the dots, do all the research for yourself. Don't ever take our word here. Come back, prove us wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. At this point in my life, truth is so important that if I make a mistake, I'm willing to listen and admit it, because I'm not an idiot. I'm not a fool. I used to be a long time ago. All right, I'm
changed
Mike.
our
This is
ways.
Ben. Yep, we've changed our ways. All right, I'm Mike. This is Ben. We salute you guys, Patriots. Good night. God bless. See you back here real soon for the next Patriot Hour update video.
God bless all you guys.